today's Fearless Friday, we are going to talk about the 3 core fears that I know you have. Okay, so I know you are scared of these 3 things. And the reason I know you are scared of these 3 things is because I'm scared of these 3 things. The top riders in the world are scared of these 3 things. The most successful people on the planet, Elon Musk, Richard Branson, Oprah Winfrey, are scared of these 3 things. Every single human on the planet is scared of these 3 things. And these 3 things manifest themselves in completely different ways. We are very beautiful, us humans, and no one wants to be the same as everybody else. So we manifest these fears quite differently, but they all boil down to the same 3 things. Let's get into it. Now, the 3 core fears of every human were created back in the day. I need you to rewind with me and go on a little bit of a history tour to the world of like the clan of the cave bear. If you've never heard of Clan of the Cave Bear, read the books, watch the movie, it's very cool. But basically it's back in time when prehistoric man lived in groups. Now the reason we lived in groups was that was our best chance for survival. We could have the hunters and we weren't hunting by ourselves because then we might get hurt. We hunted in packs to try and get the food for the group and for the clan. There was lots of people that could keep the fire going to keep us warm. There were other people that could gather berries. There was other people that provided value, like the older generation could say, well, we've seen a storm before. We know what that means. And every single person in the clan did something to help the group survive. From that group living and group environment, we created these 3 core fears that still exist today, even though we are living in the most modern technology world ever. Our evolution and our archaic reptilian brain hasn't caught up to the world that we live in today. So the 3 core fears, the first one is the fear of not being good enough. Now you're probably going, what? That's ridiculous. No one fears not being good enough. You don't need to wear your mask with me. I know deep down, you have a fear of not being good enough. Why do I know that? I've worked with 10,000 riders and they all fear not being good enough. But not only that, I still fear not being good enough. Elon Musk fears not being good enough. Richard Branson fears not being good enough. Isabel Worth, Charlotte Trudard fear not being good enough. How do I know that? Because everyone does. Why? Back in the day, if we didn't provide value to the group, if we were not good enough, oh, I went hunting, but I was useless and I lost the spear and I couldn't catch the bison. I don't know how to make fire. I can't make fire. I'm not good enough. I can't make fire. I got the wrong berries and I poisoned 5 of the people and they died and sorry, my bad. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. People literally, the clan would then decide you are not valuable to the group. You are an outcast. And I was tossed out of the cave with no fire, no weapons, no food, and I would perish very, very quickly by myself. So this deep archaic fear of not being good enough is super important because we had to be good at something. We had to show our value. We literally, our lives depended on being good at something. So now in today's world, if we're not good at anything, that's okay. There's a million other things, like, because the job list back in the clan was not very long. Now, there are a million things that we can find what our natural attributes and our natural skills and our natural instincts can be modeled into providing huge value in this world. So this fear of not being good enough is actually not as important. It's like, I only need to be good at a few things in today's world. Back then in the group, if you weren't good at 3 things, getting food, making fire, or providing in some way, you were out. So that's why we have this deep need of showing our worth, being good enough. That's why we create perfectionist strategies and all those kinds of things. Now you might be going, what's that got to do with fear? Well, everything. Because what if we're not good enough to ride our horse? What if we're not good enough to slow down the horse if he gallops off? What if we're not good enough if the horse shies or spooks or does something? And that's where the TSMG is going to really, really help you to give you the skills and understanding so you feel good enough when it comes to the riding experience. The second fear that everyone experiences, that every single person on the planet has, is the fear of not belonging. It's this fear of I want someone to like me. I want everyone to like me. Why? Back in the group, you needed everyone to like you. Even if you provided value, if everyone hated you and everyone went, oh God, here she comes again, let's not give her a seat near the fire, she's so annoying, let's kick her out to the back. You know what? She doesn't even catch that much bison anyway. Let's get rid of her. No one likes her. Having the group or the clan turn against you and not like you, again, meant certain death. So this fear of not having people like us, the fear of not belonging, the fear of not being in the crowd, the fear of standing out and being different is huge because it could mean literal death back then. In today's modern technological world, if the group that we're hanging with don't like us, it's never been easier to find another group to hang with. It's never been easier to find your group where you can be organically, naturally, instinctively you and be loved for it. So when my fear of not belonging pops up, I go, oh, thank you, archaic reptilian brain. I get that, but I'm not going to listen to that fear. I'm going to find a group that loves and accepts how I show up. With all my quirks, with all my crazy, with all my volume, because I don't need to sit with this clan. I can find another clan. Now, this fear of not belonging plays out in your riding normally when it comes to competing or in the stables where, oh, are you wearing that saddle blanket? And you go, oh God, I'm wearing the wrong saddle blanket. They're going to kick me out of the group. They're not going to talk to me. And so you want to fit in and you want to make your riding look a certain way and be a certain way. And you're like, there's no way I can, with my fear response, ride and be scared of something because they already might laugh at me or they already might say something. So we need to make sure that we're in a supportive environment when we're playing with overcoming our fear, because this fear of not belonging is a real fear that could be sabotaging. And the last core fear is the fear of not being loved. You might go, what does the fear of not being loved have to do with riding a horse? I'll get to that in a sec. But first, I need you to understand why do we have fear of not being loved? If someone loves us, they will care for us. The baby comes onto the planet with no value to give, nothing to add. They're just sitting there. And that's why there's a million different hormones that go on in parents that have this deep need, this deep love for this tiny little thing that's stealing their sleep and doing everything, that they go, I want to care for this baby. I want to make sure it's okay. So the fear of not being loved comes from, we had unconditional love. Like your parents didn't go, I'll change your nappy if you give me $100, or I'll feed you if you smile. Or I'll feed you if you, give me $100 again. There was no transactional love. It was pure unconditional love. Baby, you just be however you want to be, weeing in my face, saying you don't want to eat this, whatever it is, doesn't matter. I will love you unconditionally. And we could go a whole other place somewhere else as we transition from unconditional love to conditional love, but we won't go there. So we had unconditional love. This fear of not being loved, again, in the clan. If no one loves me and I break my leg, they're going to leave me behind. So I needed someone in the clan going, I've got you. I'm going to look after you. I'm going to get the food for you. I'm going to help you get water. I'm going to help you walk around and you can rest on me and I'll be your shoulder because I love you and I want you to survive and I want you to be okay. We needed a person, or a lot of people, but we needed at least one. We needed someone to love us and look after us if we couldn't look after ourselves. So I trust you enjoyed this episode and you got a lot from it. I'd love for you, as an exercise, to make sure that you've cemented your learning. Let me know in the comments which of the 3 fears you feel you manifest the most and how your riding fear fits into that framework. I would love to know. I'm going to come back to these comments and read them. And by you making that neural link of what you think you're scared of is actually not that, but one of these 3 things, that is going to help wildly when it comes to overcoming your riding fear. So I can't wait to read the comments. Remember, if you liked this episode, please remember to hit the like button so I know you liked it, and hit the subscribe button on the channel so you never miss any of our great episodes to help you with your riding. And remember, if you need help overcoming your fear, we have a free masterclass for you. So in the description of this video, click the link to come to our free Fearless Masterclass, where we are going to help you break through your writing fears, help you unlock the confidence and the joy that is accessible to you at any time that you can enjoy in your writing, and give you the steps that you need to take to get there. So click that link. I'll see you soon.